What is going on YouTube? It is your professional yapper Zol Psycho back with another video, and today my boys, gals, and non-binary pals, we are getting the chocolates and the roses out today. We're going to talk about romance in anime and manga. Now, I'm not going to lie, I kind of cringe a bit when I see this kind of stuff in these shows because for the most part, it's not very good. And as someone who's currently in a long-term relationship, it's kind of hard to resonate with a lot of it. This is one thing I would say that I feel anime and manga could improve on by taking some inspiration from Western stories. You know, Western stories, they might not be the best, but at least they fucking try. I've been thinking about this a bit because, you know, guys, you know I'm a nerd. Like, if you you clicked on this video, like you see the show, I'm a fucking nerd, guys. Now, I've been playing a lot of Baldur's Gate, right? And it's probably one of the only things in media I've experienced that kind of gets relationships right, at least as best as it could be in the medium that it's in. I feel like in other things like Persona, for example, or in the context of anime, Rent a Girlfriend or Dress Up Darling, it kind of only covers the surface level of things, or some things are a bit emphasized. Now, what do I mean by that? That's where it kind of gets tricky, because if you haven't been in a relationship before, at least a healthy long one, it would be difficult to understand. So I'm gonna try to break it down for you guys. From what I've seen, you guys may have a different opinion, but we don't really get to see that casual day to day in the relationship. Just primarily cute moments, or that big turning point in the relationship, maybe coming, like, transitioning from friendship to, you know, long time partnership or something like that. Either that, or we don't really see anything at all, like in My Hero Academia and Naruto, where we see a confession after years of teasing, and it's disappointing to me, because we have young people watching these shows, and I feel like it presents the wrong idea on how romantic relationships are formed and how they work. It can set up the wrong kind of expectations. It definitely has for me. I know we always like to place blame on the viewers, call them losers and whatnot. It's so easy to point fingers and ridicule people, especially if you're in a community. You know, guys, we're all nerds. We've been ridiculed before. It's very easy to turn the tables and feel good about doing it to somebody else. I feel like with how big anime has gotten recently, in the uprising of loneliness among young adults and teenagers, like, we should be attentive and be aware of this kind of stuff. So, a big deal for me. Probably not so much for others. And keep in mind, this is from an American perspective, especially. I come from an inner city, so it's a certain perspective. The men are a bunch of bitches. they're fucking pipsqueaks, dude. And I'm not talking about how they look. I don't care if they look like Kenshiro and whatnot, but they just don't act like boys that I've seen and known in my own life. I was very excited about Rent a Girlfriend's release, because I'm like, finally, an anime about adults. This guy is like, he's like 21, 22 or something like that, from what I can remember. I tried watching a long time ago, back when it initially released. We get to see romance portrayed from a more mature perspective. You know, that's what I was thinking. But dude, this guy fucking sucks. Like, this guy's a fucking loser. I have no idea how he attracts any of the women in the series. But Zol Psycho, he's supposed to reflect the audience. I think we're kind of not giving people enough credit. I definitely heard and seen a lot of bad social interactions from nerds who watch anime, play video games, etc. Hell, I've seen worse. I've seen way worse. But shouldn't we maybe display a better example? I don't know. I'm pretty sure that probably wasn't the intention of the writer, and the way these interactions go down. It's like these guys are... The way these interactions go down is like these guys are fucking high schoolers, you know? Like, I'm pretty sure a lot of stuff was emphasized, exaggerated to the point, because, like, I'm pretty sure they're not thinking, okay, how is the audience going to view this, besides just like, buying the volume. Like they're probably just riding it to a point like, okay, let's push some sales and make it so people buy the shit. Because I would see shit like, oh my god, she's holding my hand. Like God, shut the fuck. Like, I'm not calling myself a Chad. I'm not a Chad, guys. Like, I'm not a fucking top G or whatever. But like, god damn, man, it's so goddamn corny and cheesy to me. Like, maybe I grew out of it. Like, I'm kind of in my mid-20s. Maybe I'm growing out of this shit. I don't know. If we're talking about shonen, that's another story. Like, this is kind of my area nowadays. I used to mess with some shoujo back in the 2010s, like when I was a teenager. I thought it was too cool for shonen at the time, but after a bit it got a bit repetitive for me, so I started sticking to the mainstream stuff. Like, anything outside of what everybody else is watching, I usually don't mess with stuff like that unless it's like a really big recommendation. So there's a bit more leniency with shonen among fans because romance is not the priority with these stories. It's more like a bonus to add to drama, maybe some emotional weight, but it's never really good because mainly the female characters usually aren't written that well. Like, especially in this department. Like, for example, Sakura loving Sasuke after everything he did to her and her friends is absolutely insane. This example is kind of extreme. Another bad one is the romance between Deku and Uraraka. I talked a bit about My Hero in my previous video, but I kind of avoided this topic because it just wasn't. I just didn't want to talk about it. But it actively makes me upset because a lot of it was just kind of glossed over. Uraraka's character arc, it boiled down to just a bad romance subplot. It was acknowledged at some points in the story, but they were honestly just teases to make the audience go, ooh, the thing is happening, and then nothing happens. Like, the two have some moments here and there, but we don't really get to see it blossom in a believable way. And let me zero in on that word, believable. I don't need romance in fiction to be realistic because you have to suspend your disbelief so much with many aspects of the story. You're gonna see some goofy shit here and there, right? Like with relationships that look like Goku and Chi-Chi's. It's more of a comedic take on marriage. Chi-Chi is in that kind of nagging wife category. Like, she's supposed to be satire. Now, is Goku Chi-Chi believable in the context of Dragon Ball? Absolutely. Other examples of believable relationships in the context of their respective stories would be Light Yagami and Kiyomi Takeda. Not a great relationship, but it's a believable one. It makes sense in the context of Death Note. Vegeta and Bulma, same thing there. Ed Boy and Winry, and I think I haven't finished Bleach. I'm in the middle of the Arachnoid arc right now. I'm going to make a video on that soon. I think Ichigo and Orihime is a good one. Honestly, like, the way it's going, it's looking pretty good. And Yusuke and Keiko, from my memory, from what I can gather, was pretty alright, especially towards the end, with what they added in the anime. And damn, shit, what else? I guess I can't remember who those characters were, but I remember Toradora having like a decent romance story. For any of you watching this video who have examples of believable relationships in anime, please drop them in the comment section below. Put me on. I don't watch every anime, and I would like to watch more anime, so hey, give me some recommendations. I think in this area, maybe we can take some inspiration from some Western media. Like, for example, I think The Incredibles is a very good portrayal on what a somewhat normal marriage may be like. I'm not married myself, but from what I've seen and heard, this one's pretty good. I think most versions of Superman and Lois are pretty good examples. Now, if we're talking about the younger demographics, I'm not gonna lie. I think most of them are pretty trash. Like, when I was young, I thought shit I would see on Disney Channel and Nickelodeon was cool, and then later I got older and shit like 13 Reasons and Euphoria came out. I'm like, okay, this is interesting. But when you live life a little bit, then you look at it a little bit differently. Let me think off the top of my head. I think Young Justice had a decent romance with oh damn, what was her name? Kid Flash and Artemis. That was a decent one. Robin and Starfire from Teen Titans. Not a realistic relationship, but it was believable. Hell, fucking Beast Boy and Terra was a good one. Miles Morales and Gwen Stacy in Spider-Verse. Perfect one for yeah, I think that's a perfect that's like probably the best believable romance that I've seen when it comes to like younger audiences and younger characters. That's probably the best example I can think of. But yeah, I think for the majority, maybe Western media needs to get better at romance, and I still think anime just needs more of it. But yeah, this Yap session is over, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. Make sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment, please. Thank you, and I will see y'all later. Peace.